All right, we are rolling. What's up, guys? Welcome to Unlimited Freedom. This is Vaughn with Unlimited Freedom, and we have a breaking news NOVATECH update. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission are bringing charges, okay? And there's multiple promoters being charged. Of course, Cynthia and Eddie Pettion are being charged. And I'm going to go through the article with you. I'm also going to put a link to this article in the description along with my other links. And we're going to talk about it. Okay, so, anything that you think about this, whatever you want to say, just drop me a comment in the comment section and we will commence the discussion here at the Unlimited Freedom Network. Because when the news drops, I'm here to give it to you, right? I'm here to bring you the sauce. I'm here to bring you everything that's going on behind the scenes. And, nobody is giving you this much in-depth coverage. I've done a full breakdown on NOVATECH. I've done multiple videos about them. We've done deep dives. So there is just so much content here on this channel regarding kind of how it all got started, what happened, the company that they were in before NOVATECH, so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and get into this. The SEC charges NOVATECH and its principals and promoters with a $650 million crypto fraud, okay? Multi-level marketing company promoted scheme to defraud more than 200,000 investors worldwide. All right? This is from Washington, D.C., August 12th, 2024. The Securities and Exchange Commission today announced charges against Cynthia and Eddie Pettion, along with their company NOVATECH Ltd., for operating a fraudulent scheme that raised more than $650 million in crypto assets from more than 200,000 investors worldwide, including many in the Haitian American community. The SEC also charged Martin Zizi, Dr. Z, Dapolinu Dunbar, Dap, James Corbett, Corey Sampson, John Garofano, and Marsha Hadley for their roles in promoting NOVATECH to investors. According to the SEC's complaint, the Pettions operated NOVATECH as a multi-level marketing MLM and crypto asset investment program from 2019 through 2023. They lured investors by claiming NOVATECH would invest their funds on crypto assets and foreign exchange markets. Cynthia Pettion assured investors that their investments would be safe and promised that in this program, you are in profit from day one because, again, you have access to that capital. In reality, NOVATECH used the majority of investor funds to make payments to existing investors and to pay commissions to promoters, using only a fraction of investor funds for trading. The complaint further alleges that the Pettions siphoned millions of dollars of investor assets for themselves. When NOVATECH ultimately collapsed, most investors were not able to withdraw their investments, resulting in substantial losses, according to the complaint. NOVATECH and the Pettions caused untold losses to tens of thousands of victims around the world, said Eric Werner, director of the SEC's Fort Worth Regional Office. As we allege, MLM schemes of this size require promoters to fuel them, and today's action demonstrates that we will hold accountable not just the principal architects of these massive schemes, but also promoters who spread their fraud by unlawfully soliciting victims. The SEC's complaint alleges that NOVATECH's top promoters, ZZ, Dunbar, Corbett, Sampson, Garofano, and Hadley, each recruited a wide network of investors and promoters. NOVATECH paid them substantial commissions for the investors they and their networks recruited. When ZZ, Dunbar, Corbett, and Sampson became aware of certain red flags about NOVATECH, including regulatory actions taken against it by U.S. and Canadian regulators, they continued recruiting investors and downplayed the red flags. The SEC's complaint filed in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Florida charges NOVATECH, the Pettions, ZZ, Dunbar, Corbett, and Sampson with violating the anti-fraud provisions of the federal securities laws and all the defendants with registration violations. The complaint seeks permanent injunctive relief, disgorgement of ill-gotten gains, and civil penalties. Without admitting or denying the allegations, ZZ agreed to partially settle the SEC's charges by consenting to a $100,000 civil penalty and to be permanently enjoined from future violations of the charged provisions, with the amount of other monetary remedies to be determined at a later date. The partial settlement is subject to court approval. And I'll get to that in a second, guys, to break down what that means. The SEC's investigation was conducted by Catherine Rousey, Todd Baker, and Jamie Hossaker of the Fort Worth Regional Office, with assistance from Sejal Bakhta of the Crypto Assets and Cyber Unit, under supervision of Nikolai Videshiko and B. David Frazier. The litigation is being conducted by Patrick Disbennett and supervised by Keith Bernstein. The commission appreciates the assistance of the Office of the New York Attorney General's Investor Protection Bureau, right? We've heard about that on this channel. I gave you that when that came out. The California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation also gave you that one. British Columbia Securities Commission and the Ontario Securities Commission. Okay? They did not, looks like they didn't give a shout out to the Bank of Russia, who was one of the first ones to call out NOVATECH. The SEC's Office of Investor Education and Advocacy and the Division of Enforcement's Retail Strategy Task Force has issued an investor alert on fraudulent digital asset and crypto trading websites, an investor alert affinity fraud, an investor alert on crypto scams, and an investor alert on pyramid schemes posing as multi-level marketing programs. Investors can find additional information about digital asset and crypto investment schemes, including the warning signs of fraud, at investor.gov. All right, so there's the article. Let's get into the breakdown, okay? Also, the link to this is in my description if you guys want to look at more about it. All right, so let's look at the SEC's complaint here, which was filed in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Florida. And it charges NOVATECH, the Pettyons, ZZ, Dunbar, Corbett, and Sampson with violating the anti-fraud provisions of the federal securities laws and all the defendants with registration violations. So let's look at what they're seeking here. The complaint seeks permanent injunctive relief, disgorgement of ill-gotten gains, and civil penalties. All right, so let's break down what those actually are, guys, and what that legalese actually means. All right, so let's get into the definition of permanent injunctive relief, okay? A permanent injunction is a court order that requires a person or entity to do or stop doing something, usually to correct a nuisance until it's completed. It's a final judgment issued after a trial when monetary damages aren't enough to compensate for an injury. Okay, the plaintiff must pass a 4-step test to seek a permanent injunction, including showing that they've suffered an irreparable injury. So it requires a person or entity to do or stop doing something. So it's like forcing them to stop participating in, whatever MLM or NOVATECH or whatever they want them to stop doing, legally binding, right? So a permanent injunction, once again, is a court order requiring a person to do or cease doing a specific action that is issued as a final judgment in a case, right? So that's one of the things they're seeking. So they are seeking monetary damages, but they're also seeking this permanent injunction. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the legal definition here for disgorgement. Okay, so disgorgement of ill-gotten gains. Disgorgement is intended to make victims whole. That means interest on the ill-gotten gains, as they're commonly described, and possibly penalties to be paid directly to the victims as opposed to the government, are often part of the disgorgement, right? So this is going to lead to like a class action collection, right, for those of you who have lost money in NOVATECH. Okay, once this process is completed, right? The thing is, here's one thing about the courts, guys. They can order somebody to pay money all day, but if you don't have the money, there's nothing you can do. Like right now, if the court ordered me to pay $25 million to somebody, right? I just say, hey, I don't have it, right? I don't have $25 million that I can pay to that person, right? So, and then it just leads to a moot point, because if they're not going to bring like punitive damages in the type of prison, in terms of like prison time, right, then there's really not much recourse they have if the person says, hey, I just don't have the money. Now, they can check your bank account, they can check your records, they can check you with the IRS, they may bring tax fraud, tax evasion. Further down the line, these people could end up going to prison over tax violations, right? And that's how they get a lot of people in prison. Okay, so that's what the disgorgement is all about. Let's get into the next one. So a civil penalty, guys, also known as a civil fine, is a financial penalty that a government agency imposes on a party for violating laws or regulations. Civil penalties are a non-criminal remedy that is usually in the form of fines or other financial payments to compensate for damages. The wrongdoing is typically defined by a set of legislation, regulations, and decrees. All right, so that's the article. Right, that's the latest. Right, I'm bringing it to you first here at the Unlimited Freedom Network. Nobody is bringing you the sauce before I am. Right, I'm the one who's here. This is it's 4:21 a.m. Right, as soon as I got the notification, boom, I'm at the computer and I'm bringing you the sauce. Right, because this is your one-stop shop for all the information having to do with crypto passive income opportunities, trading, everything that we do here in the space. Right, and definitely when something of this magnitude comes out, I'm going to be the first to bring it to you. Right, there's just no doubt about it. Now, what I want to do is I want to give you a couple of my points and a couple of my opinions on this. Just remember, my opinion is not the law. The law is the law. Right, I can say what I think the law should or should not be, but that's my opinion. Right, the law is what it is. All right, so let me go ahead and give you a couple of insights from this whole development. Okay, so a couple of things that we need to talk about here. First is the criminal charges could still be coming. Okay, I alluded to that a little bit earlier because, look, guys, once you get into this, this is just the first layer of the onion that they're peeling back. They're going to start looking deeper into these people's taxes. They're going to start looking deeper into what these people have done with their money, their bank accounts, all that stuff. And at that point, criminal charges can come. Right, so I would not be surprised. In fact, I'd be surprised if these guys don't get charged criminally, right, and end up with heavy penalties, right, on both sides. So also, guys, what you have to understand is that the majority of the money is gone. So if they're looking for money here that is gone, right, because right before NOVATECH froze the trading accounts, they had a cease and desist order from California. Once they had that cease and desist order, most of the investors, well, a large number of the investors, pulled all of their money out. I was one of them, right? I pulled my money out, all of it, after they got that cease and desist order. And I got it. I got my money, right? Other people got their money, but it came to an end. The money literally ran out, right? It was a bank run. That's why they froze the accounts, because the money was gone. So they're seeking money that's already done. It just doesn't exist. Was this fraud? Okay, or is the SEC being biased? Right? And let me say this. Let me say a couple of things that were not pointed out in the complaint and that I think should be pointed out. And number one is that if you look at the language that was on the NOVATECH website, at the disclosures, when you signed up to join NOVATECH, it was written right there in black and white, right there for everybody to see, that it was possible for you to lose your entire principal. All of the investor, whenever you do an investment with any company, there's a lot of information that you have to agree to and say that, at least say that you understand, right? And that means that investments carry the potential risk of loss. Now, say whatever you want about NOVATECH, but that did remain clear on their website. Now, here's the thing, guys. I have actually spoken to a lawyer about this. This was some time ago. And I was talking to him about disclosures and about, doing trading or doing trading courses and doing the type of videos that I do on here where I talk about my investments that I'm doing, my investment projects. And he basically said that legally, the disclosures don't actually really do anything. Like, the court doesn't care that you put a disclosure out there and said, hey, you could possibly lose your money. Or you know how we say, don't invest in anything that you can't afford to lose. The lawyer told me that the truth is the courts don't care. They can still come after you for fraud. Right? So it kind of got me to thinking, well, why do I even bother saying it? Right? Why do I take so much time? And the reason why I do it is kind of a morality issue. Is I want to tell people, hey, you could lose your money here. Don't invest anything you can't afford to lose. And because I don't want people to lose, right? I'm not like a fraudster who's out to take people's money and see them lose, right? And so that's why I say that, and that's why it was written there in the NOVATECH website that, hey, you could lose your money here, right? And I think all of the promoters who they targeted, they're gonna take clips and say, hey, this is a clip of what he said, but they're not gonna show the full spiel, because for my part, everybody that I heard talk about NOVATECH would say that, hey, there's a risk of loss here, substantial loss. You could lose all your money here, right? And don't invest anything that you can't afford to lose, right? So should things like this be legal is the real question. Personally, I think yes. I think people should be able to do what they want to do with their money. It's their money. They worked hard for it. If they want to put it into a risky crypto platform, that's their business. If they want to go to the casino and gamble it, that's their business. If they want to bet on sports, that's their business, right? It's their money. They should have the freedom to do what they want to do with it, right? And if they gamble it and lose it, that's on them. Okay, we're all grown-ups here. We're all adults, and I think that we can all be trusted to manage our own money. I don't believe we need the government's help to manage our money. I don't, thanks, but no thanks. You want to help me? You want to protect me? Thank you, but no thank you. I'm going to do just fine on my own. I'll take the risks on my own. I don't need your protection. I don't need your help. Right? Thanks, but no thanks. That's how I view it. Right? Now, my view is not the law. Right? The law is the opposite. The law is that, yes, the government's going to get involved. The government is going to look at what people are doing with their money. The government is going to be a watchdog on what you're doing with your money and on what other people are doing. It's just that's the way it is, right? Which brings me to my next point, which is the 2024 election, right? Now, I've said on here many times, I've already cast my vote. Right? I am a full 100% Christian. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. I don't vote, right? I don't care, right? I think that no matter what, we're going to be dealing with a government that's somewhat corrupt. And so I'm not for or against either of the candidates. I'm for them in the sense that I want them to be saved, and I want them to come to know the Lord, and I want them to be, to be redeemed, right? And I want them to come into the true kingdom, which is the kingdom of God, right? I believe that Jesus Christ is coming back. I believe that all governments are going to be submitted under his feet, right? And that's what I believe, because I believe the Bible, right? I've had a lot of time to read it. Okay, you guys know my history. You know what's happened in my life. You know about my conversion experiences, my struggle with addiction in the past, the fact that I did prison time. You know all about that. Okay, and so that's what I've come to believe. So I'm going to talk about the 2024 election, but I wanted to preface it with that so that you would understand that I'm not a political person, right? And I don't want you to say that I'm favoring one person or another, because I'm not. Okay, but the 2024 election is going to bring a possible big deregulator into the Oval Office in Donald Trump, who's already said that he wants to get rid of a lot of government programs. And what my hope would be is that he would either gut or completely dismantle the SEC, right? And that he would take away the majority of the power from the IRS, right? That he would gut or dismantle the SEC. They're already talking about taking away the Department of Education and moving that back down to the states. So basically, what they're talking about doing is going in and taking out a lot of these government organizations, right? That have gotten, in their view, they've gotten too big and they've gotten too corrupt, right? So just the fact that the SEC can target somebody, go after them, and it doesn't matter if you made a financial disclosure. It doesn't matter. Like, they have all the cards. They have all the power, right? So you got to understand they're doing this before the 2024 election, because after the 2024 election, they possibly might be completely dismantled and not have any power to do this. At least this way, they're going to bring it into the courts before the 2024 election and before they get either shut down, or what this guy Trump is going to do is he's going to put in loyalists, people who are loyal to him, in all of these departments, so that he basically controls the SEC. So basically, they won't go after you unless Trump himself wants to go after you. Okay? So that's what this has to do with the 2024 election. So we should definitely think about that, because that is a component here as to why they brought these charges now. Let me give you an investor's perspective on the crypto space. All right, I'm an investor. I'm very upfront about what I do. I post everything that I do here on my YouTube channel. I share all the links to everything that I'm involved in, linked in the description of this channel. I have been involved in so many of these crypto platforms, guys, and they come and they go, right? One of the big reasons why I even have a channel is because I did get out of NOVATECH before it went under. Right. And because I was able to do that, it brought a lot of people in to follow my journey and to say, okay, how is this guy doing this, going in and getting out of these platforms in a timely fashion? All right. And I share that on here. Right. Now, these things, they have a beginning, a middle, and an end. They all do. So far, we haven't seen a crypto passive income platform that's actually lasted for the long term. With a lot of companies, is the trading happening? Yes, I can tell you yes. With a lot of the companies, they are trading, right? Sometimes they blow the trading account, right? Sometimes the trader blows the account, right? They take a long and it just goes short, and they're waiting for it to come back up. It never does, and they blow the account. That's exactly what happened to Invisible AI. They were riding crypto down when crypto was going down. They were riding it down. Everybody was making money. Crypto reversed. It went back up. Never came back down. They blew the account. They blew the money, guys. So the trading does happen, right? I'm sure some of them it doesn't, right? Some of them probably are Ponzi schemes. So I'm not saying that they're not. What I'm saying is that I don't know for sure, but I've seen a lot of the back-end workings on some of them. I know that NOVATECH was trading. I know that they had an MT4 account, because I traded crypto with NOVATECH using their MT4, right? Of course, that's not legal to do here in the United States. I didn't do it in the United States, right? I did it overseas because I have homes in other countries, as you guys are aware of, to test it, and it works. All right, so, so that's what we have to hit, guys. Criminal charges could still be coming, right? The majority of the money is gone because they had a big run on the bank, which people seem to forget about. It's like, oh, yeah, they're going to sue NOVATECH and we're going to get our money back. What money? There was a bank run. The money's gone, guys. And then, was it fraud? What is fraud? How much power should the SEC have? That's my question right now. Now, my opinion, there shouldn't even be an SEC. People ought to just be able to do what they want to do with their own money, right? I don't think the government should be involved in our money. All right? I just don't. I mean, if I want to trade something to my neighbor, that's my neighbor and my business, right? Trade has been a thing ever since humans have been a thing, right? Oh man, I got this cattle over here. I'll trade you your cattle for, whatever. I'll be able to use your well that you dug, right? Here's some cattle, and you make a deal, and boom, that's the deal. Trading it's trade, free trade. I don't think the government should be involved in any of it. So was it fraud or was it not? They gave out disclosures. They warned people. Was it fraud? You tell me. We talked about the 2024 election, the fact that we might have a big deregulator coming in who could change all of these things, right? And remove a lot of these government agencies. We'll see what happens, right? And then the crypto space, my investor's perspective, which my perspective is I love this space. I love to be involved in passive income crypto platforms. I don't over leverage myself. I have a great time. Do I lose on a lot of them? Sure. But I win on some of them, right? To me, it's a great, interesting, fun space to be in, and we've never had anything like it before, where you can make these high percentage gains passively, right? It comes with a huge amount of risk, but I'm aware of it. I'm willing to take it, and frankly, I don't want anybody telling me that I can't do it, right? Because I should be able to manage my own money. Right, so basically, this is the big NOVATECH update, guys. Right, so hopefully you enjoyed it. Just let me know what you think in the comments, and let's start the discussion. And but yeah, now charges are being brought. The SEC is involved. The House of Cards is falling down, guys, and there's more to come. And as soon as it comes out, I'm gonna let you know about it, and I'll be the first to tell you here at the Unlimited Freedom Network. Links are in the description. Talk to you guys soon.